Why you're still suffering. Copyright safe rewrite. Most people believe their suffering comes from what happened to them, but that's only part of the story. The deeper reason is often hidden. It isn't always the painful event that keeps hurting you. It's the endless battle inside your mind, the battle against reality itself. Think about that for a moment. Life brings disappointment, loss, rejection, failure, and heartbreak to everyone. No one escapes those experiences. Pain is part of being human, but suffering begins when the mind refuses to stop arguing with what has already happened. When you spend months or even years wishing the past had unfolded differently, your mind keeps reopening wounds that were already beginning to heal. This is the difference many people never understand. Pain is the event. Suffering is the story you keep repeating about the event. One lasts for a moment. The other can last for decades. A broken relationship hurts. Losing someone you love hurts. Being betrayed hurts. Those emotions are natural, but replaying those memories every day, asking, why me, or imagining how life should have been different, that is what turns temporary pain into long-term suffering. Your mind wasn't designed to make you happy every second. Its first responsibility is survival. That's why it constantly searches for danger, remembers painful experiences, and tries to prevent you from getting hurt again. This protective system can be helpful, but sometimes it becomes overprotective. Instead of learning from the past, it traps you inside it. Instead of helping you move forward, it keeps dragging you backward. Imagine touching a hot surface. The sharp pain immediately tells you to pull your hand away. That pain serves a purpose. Now imagine years later you're still filled with anger because of everything that led to that moment. The physical injury healed long ago. Only the emotional replay remained. That's how resistance works. The event is over, but the mind refuses to let it stay in the past. The more you argue with reality, the heavier life feels. The more you demand that people should have behaved differently, the more exhausted you become. You cannot rewrite yesterday by thinking about it harder. You cannot force people to become who you wish they were. Many people spend years waiting for apologies that never come. Others wait for parents to become emotionally available. Some wait for life to finally feel fair. While they're waiting, life quietly keeps moving without them. Acceptance doesn't mean saying what happened was right. It doesn't mean approving betrayal, abuse, failure, or injustice. Acceptance simply means recognizing reality as it exists today instead of fighting a version of reality that no longer exists. That shift changes everything. Because once you stop wasting energy fighting what cannot be changed, you finally have energy to build what can be changed: your future, your habits, your mindset, your character, your peace. Many adults are still carrying emotional battles that began years ago, not because those moments are still happening, but because their minds never stopped reliving them. Every replay strengthens the emotional habit. Every replay convinces the brain the danger is still present. Eventually, your body stays tense even when there's nothing left to fight. Stress increases. Sleep becomes difficult. Anxiety grows louder, not because the past is attacking you, but because your mind keeps inviting it back. Freedom begins with one difficult decision. Stop demanding that yesterday become different. It never will. Instead, ask a better question: what can I do with today? That question gives you power. The other one only steals it. You cannot erase painful chapters, but you can stop reading the same page every single day. The moment you release your grip on what cannot be changed, you create space for healing. And healing is where real freedom begins. Acceptance is where real healing begins. Copyright safe rewrite. Knowing the truth is only the first step. Living it is where real transformation begins. So how do you stop carrying emotional weight that has followed you for years? You learn one powerful skill that most people avoid: acceptance. But let's clear up one of the biggest misunderstandings about acceptance. Acceptance does, asterisk, not mean you're saying what happened was right. It doesn't mean you agree with the betrayal. It doesn't mean you excuse someone's behavior. And it certainly doesn't mean you stop protecting yourself. Acceptance simply means you stop fighting a reality that already exists. You stop carrying a burden that no longer serves you. Imagine hiking through life while dragging a heavy chain behind you. Every step becomes harder, not because life is impossible, but because you're refusing to put the chain down. Resistance works the same way. The event may have lasted a day, but your resistance can make you carry it for years. Choosing acceptance isn't surrender. It's emotional courage. It's saying, T, I cannot rewrite my past, but I refuse to let it control my future. Maybe your childhood wasn't what you deserved. Maybe someone walked away without explaining why. Maybe trust was broken. Maybe life unfolded differently than you hoped. Those facts cannot be erased, but they also don't have to define the person you become. The moment you stop expecting yesterday to change, today becomes lighter. Reality is no longer your enemy. Your energy is no longer wasted fighting something that cannot be changed. Instead, it becomes available for growth. So, how do you actually practice this? Here are 3 powerful habits that can slowly change the way your mind responds to pain. Step 1. Notice the mental loop healing begins with awareness. Most people stay trapped because they never realize they're replaying the same thoughts every day. Pay attention to the stories running through your mind. Are you constantly thinking, T, this shouldn't have happened? Asterisk, life treated me unfairly. If only they had acted differently. When those thoughts appear, don't judge yourself. Simply notice them. Observe them the way you would watch clouds passing through the sky. You are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them. That small shift creates space between you and your emotional reactions. And that space is where change begins. So step 2, replace why me with what now. One question keeps you trapped. The other moves you forward, asking, why did this happen to me? Usually keeps your attention locked on the past. It searches for explanations that may never come. Instead, ask T, what can I do from this moment? That single question returns your power. Maybe what happened wasn't fair. Maybe it wasn't your choice. Maybe you never deserved it. Even so, your future is still in your hands. You may not have chosen your circumstances, but you always have a choice in how you respond to them. Every difficult experience can either become a permanent prison or the foundation for a stronger life. The decision belongs to you. So step 3, practice letting go. Everyday acceptance is not something you do once. It's something you practice repeatedly. Whenever painful memories return, gently remind yourself, the past cannot be changed. I don't need to fight reality anymore. I choose peace over resistance. These words are not magic. But repeated consistently, they begin changing the way your brain responds. Instead of feeding fear, you strengthen calm. Instead of replaying old pain, you create new emotional habits. Over time, your mind learns that it no longer has to stay in survival mode. Train your brain for peace. Your brain changes according to what you repeatedly practice. If you rehearse resentment every day, resentment becomes familiar. If you practice gratitude, peace becomes familiar. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending painful experiences were enjoyable. It means recognizing that even difficult seasons can leave behind valuable lessons. Sometimes the hardest chapters teach the greatest wisdom. Sometimes the deepest wounds become the birthplace of compassion, resilience, and maturity. Another powerful habit is writing. Put your thoughts on paper. Instead of repeating the same painful story you've told yourself for years, write a new one. Ask yourself, what strength did this experience help me develop? How has this challenge changed me for the better? The meaning you assign to your experiences shapes the life you create afterward. The event stays the same. But your interpretation can completely transform. That's how lasting emotional change begins. Freedom begins with acceptance. The amount of peace you experience often depends on how willing you are to accept reality instead of resisting it. You cannot control everything life brings. People will disappoint you, plans will fail, unexpected pain will appear. That is part of being human. What remains within your control is your response. You can spend years fighting reality, or you can use reality as the starting point for a better future. Acceptance is not giving up. It is choosing to stop wasting energy on battles that can never be won. When you release the struggle against the past, you create room for hope, you create room for joy, you create room for purpose. And most importantly, you create room to become the person you were always capable of becoming. Real freedom doesn't arrive when life becomes perfect. It arrives the moment you stop demanding that life be different before allowing yourself to live fully. That is where peace begins. And that is where your next chapter truly starts. If this message resonated with you, don't stop here. Keep building a stronger mind, a calmer heart, and a more peaceful life by continuing your journey. The next video has been carefully selected because it expands on the ideas you explored today and gives you practical ways to apply them in everyday life. Click on it now, keep learning, and take one more step toward becoming the person you truly want to be. And if you found value in this video, consider subscribing so you don't miss future lessons on mindset, emotional resilience, and personal growth. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.